Good afternoon, colleagues, and thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much to the head coach of South Africa for the 2025 COSAFA. Match has just ended in a defeat for you, Coach, 3-0 in favor of the Panthers Nickels of Angola. Perhaps maybe let's reflect on the tournament before we go into the game. Overall, what kind of tournament has South Africa had?
Thank you very much, and maybe let me start by saying Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, myself included. We had, I think this was a good tournament. It was more of us seeing other players that we need to have for Bafana to beef up. I think credit must go to the boys being called from recess, from off the season, and bringing them in a period of 2 days to come in and start playing. I think it was coming all right because they showed a top level of professionalism, and the preparation went well. I think people are able to see that we have a big number of players that are ready to help Bafana. And these are the tournaments that are going to help us going through and identify our strong point. I think we had a good tournament. We played good football, and I think one will immediately say, out of the tournament itself, what is lacking in the football in South Africa is that we are not scoring goals. We need to get strikers that will come, and we will go back and work on strikers that will come and help the country in scoring the goals.
Let's look at today's game. South Africa loses by 3-0 in the final. Perhaps maybe where is it that Angola goes better than yourselves in this particular match, and where do you think you would have done better, or what would you have done better in this particular encounter?
Look, you're playing Angola, that I think it's their first team with their first coach, and this is the players that wants to impress the coach the most, and they were consistent in how they play football. They play power football, they play from crosses, they play from standard situations, which are the things that we have identified, that we knew about them. But fatigue also coming in, where lapse of concentration comes in, and we did not really deal well with the two situations where we anticipated. We knew that they will come, number 19, they play cross, they will get the ball and it will be in. And that's exactly what happened from two set places where they scored. But if you look at the domination of the game and all of that, that is not their strength, but they know how to play to win. And they did not do much. They were so consecutive. I don't know, that's the kind of football they're playing. But with us, we dominated, but domination without converting the chances, it has always been our challenge. But these are the things that are the lessons to us, to say we need to go back and say, how do we get the strikers, how do we help them, so that we are technically good, but we need to have good strikers so that we can have a better balanced team in the future.
Coach, I'm going to open it up to the members of the media to also have a share of the questions in this particular one. Guys, I'm going to open up such that we show by hand our intention to ask. We're going to have only 2 rounds of Q&A. We have 1 over there and 2 here, and that's it. The first round will have 2 questions. 1, please go.
Coach, Coach, do you think your team showed hunger to win this tournament?
I think, like I indicated, they showed more than a hunger. You'll then say professionalism. These are players that were off season, and you call them in, and it will take some time for the body now to reset and get back to the competitive tournament. So I would then say professionalism as opposed to the hunger. Hunger would always come. They were hungry to get to where we are. I think getting to semi-finals, getting to the finals, you cannot ask for more than that and say maybe they were not hungry enough, but I think they were.
All right, 2.
Okay, Coach, now that you have mentioned that most of the players who were in the squad are players who are not regularly playing in their original teams, but now in terms of the future, are you looking into getting more players who are much more active, players who are much more into the game? And in terms of the squad that you had in this particular tournament, is there a future with them, or do you think you just have to make a few changes in certain positions?
No, look, this was more of for Coach Bruce to see good players in this. Others are calling it Bafana Light. Others are calling it Bafana Team B. And it was for them to be seen through tournament like this, COSAFA and your chain. That's where you always say, Coach Bruce will be able to identify one or two players to say, these are the players that I'll take them to the real Bafana first team.
All right, that is round one done. If we have any questions on round two, please show by giving your hand. If there are no questions, that means that, okay, we will have one there and then two. Coach, go. One.
Thank you, Coach Vela Khumalo.Angola from Novus Media Group. My question relates to the tournament itself. In your view, in terms of building South Africa as a powerhouse, how prestigious is the COSAFA tournament?
No, it is. It is definitely something that is helping us. I think I alluded to that earlier on to say tournaments like this, we bring in Chan and all of that. This helps us, and because we have large number of players, a lot of players that are not getting call-ups, but if they get call-ups on this kind of tournaments, it's a plus for the country.
Right, two.
Right, Coach, back to the question that I had. There are a few players, actually I can name two for now, two players who have been with COSAFA. We have Victor Letswalo as well as Umondli Mpoto. There are some players who have experience in COSAFA. But in terms of your view, if you were to choose the players who would qualify for the first team, which ones would you have?
Now look, I think it is entirely on the coach from the other side to say where he needs to beef up. You mentioned Letswalo, a little bit older. I was with him when we won this in Tebecha, when we won this very COSAFA 2021. So you now say Letswalo again as a striker is playing at this time. Where are the strikers? So for instance, people will say, but you had Duba. Duba came in, but he got injured, and then we had to send him out of the camp. And Mondli has been with all the national teams, and at the moment he doesn't even have a club to play for. So these are players that you bring in and say, let's confirm if we can still have this kind of players.
All right, colleagues, we will end it at that. We will thank the head coach for his time and all the very best for the future, coach.
No, thank you very much. Thank you.